Fellow Ambazonians, good evening, good evening. It's nice to have you here on the set of the War Zone with me this beautiful Tuesday, February the 21st, 2023. You're on the set of the War Zone, and it's a pleasure having you with me today. I have a program that is jam-packed with some really exciting information, and especially with the interviews that I will be conducting here with none other than the recently elected chair lady of the Restoration Council. I'm here referring to Honorable Ndeh. So she will be joining me on the set of the War Zone today. But before we get to that, I would like for you to share the link again, please. Can you please do me a favor and share the link and bring in as many people watching? So before I can start the show, I have a lot of exciting information to bring to you, but I don't want you to be the only ones benefiting from it. So do me a favor and share the link so we can get more people watching. So right now I see um, who is watching here. Let me see who is watching. I see Jolie Jojo. You're always here. Nice to see you, Jolie. Willow Sharp Sharp. Is that Willow Sharp Sharp? That's the other person watching there. And of course, I see Amber Truth, or is it Amberman Wonder? Amberman Wonder is watching. Please share the link so we can get the numbers jumping. As I said, there are quite a few things I would like for us to talk about. We will talk about the recent march on Boya by some really courageous women to release their children who were picked up at I think a football match they were playing and taken to Boya and locked up for no good reason. And these women said, "No, this is not happening. We are going after whoever did this." And they were able to secure the release of their children. That's a lesson we're going to learn from these women. Of course, we also saw during the week a certain uh, grandpa of Pinyin, a certain grandpa of Pinyin, surrendering himself to the so-called DDR center. What to make of it? What to make of it? Was that a good deal on his part, or was it like a chicken offering itself to be eaten? We are going to take a look at that as well. Of course, we're going to have an interview with Honorable Anne, the chair lady of the Restoration Council, and we're going to also get some advice to our ARFs. They've been making some mistakes on the ground and putting themselves in compromising situations where they get trapped and killed because of the carelessness with the use of their electronic devices. We're going to take a look at that. And we will also take a look at traditional um, traditional leaders, our traditional leaders who are now being converted into politicians. Is that a favorable situation with regards to our traditional leaders? Is that something they should be doing? Can a traditional leader also be a politician at the same time and be able to separate both functions? Is that possible? That's something we're going to take a look at. So again, I see the numbers. Atem FC, nice to see you watching. Checkum Fantoma, nice to see you watching. Please, Hans Orok, I can also see you. I also see you. Nice to see you watching. Please let the numbers keep jumping. Let the numbers keep jumping. Yeah, they're climbing, but not at a very fast pace. And I need to see them climbing much faster than that. So maybe we are going to. Before I go ahead, I have to first of all, again, as always, I would like to really thank our ARFs for standing their ground, for defending our territory, defending our mothers, our fathers, brothers, and sisters, and telling La Republique, the occultic homosexual infiltrated government in Yaoundé that we have left them, and we have left them for good. I think during the week, you must have seen a letter from Diodone Esomba. Diodone Esomba is spelling out clearly that there is no way that Ambazonia will ever come back into a unitary state with the Republic of Cameroon. That those days are over. It's over. He has said this many times, but recently again he sent out another write-up stating why it is impossible for the people of the southern Cameroon and Ambazonia ever again to live in a unitary state with La Republic of Cameroon. Are they listening? Are they listening? These people who have formed a cult in Yaoundé, where anyone who dares to speak up against them is mercilessly murdered, brutalized, and killed, even sodomized and amputated. Are they listening? His words seem to be falling on a duck's back, as they say. So we will see what happens. But as far as the people of the southern Cameroon and Ambazonia are concerned, we are determined, and we have taken back our freedom, and we will fight until it is restored. So, fellow Ambazonians, like I said, I have a lot to deal with today, so I will not want to keep Honorable Ann waiting for too long. So let me just go through some of the items I want to bring to you today. Being, first of all, I would like for us to listen to some advice from a fellow fighter who is giving some advice to our ARFs with regards to the use of their electronic devices. So I'd like for us to listen. Is none other than uh, Malam Alaji, who sent out this audio. Let's listen to it, then I can make some comments after that.
Good afternoon, House. Revolutionary greetings. 21 gun salute to all of our fighters, generals, foot soldiers defending the homeland. Yes, for here, na allergy. Yes, I choose this house, this training house, for make this audio for educate our fighters, we are generals them, and we are commanders. Yes. First about the first thing where these soldiers, these fighters, then get to understand, these forums, them where when they create them, they talk about the struggle, that La Republic, with the enablers, them easily infiltrate those forums. Yes, they easily infiltrate those forums. And for their way, some of them, they get one this thing, one numbers. Yes, because I don't notice some say, don't talk with someone we call yourself say be fighter. I don't turn around and go see say I told them I'm not a fighter. Yes, not a fighter. So some person like this one fit easily infiltrate forums like this one way we are fighters, then we are royal fighters, then they inside. Yes. And this tracking of funds where we talk about not true. Yes, La Republic fit track. Even you fighter, if you get good phone, you fit track your friendly phone. It will work. Yes, technology don't over go around now. So, for my own advice, if me I be general for ground, I'm not going to enter for no forum. Yes, and now my bodyguard got to hold my phone, especially generals them like Grandpa, Fin Marshal PT, and all others, the strong generals with the handle this the struggle with the Republic, they find them day and night. See, these fighters when I get to understand. See, if when I get inside forums then, where I said they call someone Ground Zero Forum or just La Republic, they infiltrate those forums them easily. And anything we want to talk am for inside that forum, when they talk am now for here for La Republic. Yes, I get intelligent for this one now. So any person when you get inside this forum, if you go out and you change your number immediately. Yes. Because La Republic will surprise you at any time. Yes, this is the first advice where I want to make we are fighters them get for no. And I really beg say make the work upon it. If I say for these forums for diaspora, because the administration for diaspora, if they don't know you, they don't really know you, they're not gonna put you inside forum. But for when I down this ground zero forum or some point when I declare them for down where when I talk say now on the soldiers them they inside. Yes, someone to call yourself. You never go see, you don't see Barak. He talk say he be soldier, he for say he call in them say he there for so place. You don't know your intention. Yes, you don't know your intention. So these forums say when I declare them, if they betray were fighters, it makes it the good generals them fall. Yes. That's the first advice that we are selling inside this hall.
All right, fellow Ambazonians, you've heard it for yourself. And let me break this in pidgin so that it will sink into our restoration fire. So, we ARFs, when I don't hear the top way, when I fellow ARF too, he too, now person way don't hold stick. So he talk from experience. I did tell when I said this one way when I don't dare for down now. When I form group them enter there. La Republic thing where La Republic don't do and I said they don't find way now for the infiltrate all the groups the way when I get and when I put fighters, they talk say, oh now group for fighters, they go find their own black legs. When I hear the audio way one of the enablers them, the black legs, it talks say they inside all of that when I forum them. They listen anything when I talk, any strategy when I get them, when I discuss them, they pick them. The worst thing where they do am na say they take all una numbers, then they use them now for track una down. That thing where you make am una see they track down fighters for ground now very easily because they don't enter all the una fora where una get them. They take all una number them. They get them now. They follow una one by one by one by one. They pick una. All the enabler them like Alaji talk for here. When I did some man would just say, me, I be general this. You don't know that person. You don't know, you never don't ever see it come. And plenty people in there for that when they talk to the general, where they need to fight, no nothing. We're not gonna take them, put them inside group. We're not say they are in true intention now waiting. That people then they take information, the seller. Also, when we're not there for inside there, we're not there for you for southern zone, so other person there northern zone. You don't know whether they don't catch some person for northern zone where if they inside that group. They don't seize the phone. They use the phone now for get all our information. When I not even know say they don't catch it. Now so our information to be distributed for the enemy. So the best thing I say make una come out inside all that forum the way una did it. We will not get any forum where una did say na forum for soldiers. Make una come out there. And when you come out for there, make sure say you change your phone number immediately. Change your phone number, change your SIM card. And even when you get your phone, when you no need for turn on your phone, move the battery, disconnect your phone, wrap and with foil so that some person want track them, go feed the get you who's way you did. When I don't see and say plenty of the ARFs they fall now because of this phone palaver. Now because of this phone palaver. So when I get for be very careful. Avoid this thing for the be for group them with people them. Now bad idea. A lot of nebulous and black legs they don't be inside there now. They take una information, they give them for lot of break, they use and they track una the kill una. Especially when I the famous general them. When I get for the change phone every 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 1 month, you change your phone number. You don't get for keep the phone number. And me a phone number only going up for people the way you trust them. Only for people where you trust them. No take your phone number again for any kind of person. Now for they use them for following. So now the information, first information that way I want to make when I get them today. So the next thing I would like to discuss now this one way this man way to say be grandpa for pinging we carry self will be for la republic. I don't know which way to be the thing, but some people they don't lost sense or how I don't know. But watch the video how it go give itself in first. Then we go comment on that behavior where it one. Move if you watch the video for that grandpa where we carry itself, go again and say they go for DDR center. A foolish, a foolish act. Any man will carry itself will be for DDR center. It just really far away. It don't take itself, jump, go interport, say, cook me. Now far away, don't jump, go interport, say, I want me, you chop me. Now exactly the thing that when you carry yourself, go for DDR center, that means they want me like a big chop you. Because it not go chop you right away. It go first use you. It will use you well. When they don't say and say you're not getting used again, they just disappear you. After all, who they follow you? Who will not say they don't kill you? Some people they'll sit there they say they did the art center where they don't finish your things, go dump them somewhere. I think that will happen, Una. Now it is more watch them.
To explain us why you decide to come out from the bush. Right? And after you are guys. And I hope tomorrow you will invite those who are still in the bush to come out. You have the floor.
Yes, my name is Grandpa.
No, speak loud.
My name is Grandpa. Yes. I thank the President of the state to give this opportunity for us.
And I will give you the floor to explain us why you decide to come out from the bush. Right?
Yes.
And after you are guys. And I hope tomorrow you will invite those who are still in the bush to come out. You have the floor.
Yes, my name is Grandpa.
No, speak loud.
My name is Grandpa. Yes. I thank the President of the state to give this opportunity for us.
And I will give you the floor.
Our fellow Ambazonians,
Explain us why you decide to come out from the bush. Right?
Yes.
And after you are guys. And I hope tomorrow you will invite those who are still in the bush to come out. You have the floor.
Yes, my name is Grandpa.
No, speak loud.
My name is Grandpa. Yes. I thank the President of the state to give this opportunity for us.
And I will give you
all
the
right.
floor.
All right. Let's
come out from the bush.
Let's talk about this. You see, the first thing I want us to take note of is the behavior of the guy who looks like an executioner. That La Republic, I think it's a gendarme or military, whoever it is. Just look at his countenance. Look at his behavior. Look at the way he is already treating that grandpa of Pingin. He's already commanding him. Look at the way he's commanding. You think the way he's commanding him says, no, speak louder. Speak louder. And take note that he's on camera. Imagine how he is treated when he's off camera. Just imagine how he will be treated when he's off camera. He's on camera and the guy is already scolding him, telling him to speak louder. The guy, the La Republic military person looks like someone who is used to killing people. He looks like an executioner, like a hangman. His countenance is not that of a friendly person. He doesn't look like he's talking to his friend. Does it look like he's talking to his friend where he's talking to Grandpa there? Does it look like he's talking to a friend? No. He's already ordering Grandpa, speak louder. Grandpa has put his neck and they have put a yoke in it. He will be. I'm sure he's already wondering what deceived him to go there. But it's already too late. He's in the net. He is in the net. And take note, first of all, fellow Ambazonians, this guy was never a fighter. He was never a fighter. This guy has caused the death of many of our brave soldiers. This guy who is calling himself Grandpa of Pingin, he has betrayed a lot of our good ARFs and handed them over to La Republique. Most notably of recent was the A4, and I think 9 or 10 of his best comrades were lured into a net, in a trap up somewhere in Santa, and they were rounded up and later slaughtered, and their bodies dumped all over the territory. This guy, grandpa of Pingin or Santa, was responsible for that. He was responsible for that. He deceived them, then tipped the Dio of Santa, and he informed the La Republique military, and they came and rounded them up. Just rounded them up like chicken. And they were just used to betray other fighters again, who were themselves also killed. And then at the end, when they had used them, when they had completely used them, they were all slaughtered. This guy has put himself in a pot, and he will face the very penalty that he caused unto others. He was never a fighter. He has always been betraying our ARF. So getting out and to the DDR center, whatever it is a good thing for us. The people of Santa will be very happy that this burden has been removed from them, because he was never a fighter. He was a liability to this struggle. So it is a good riddance to have him gone. Good riddance to have him gone. So that is it for that, ladies and gentlemen. And to those of us, those of you out there, fellow Arabs, who think that going to the DDR center is a good thing, ask yourself why those who have been sent to the DDR center up to now are not being trained for any job opportunities. Why are they not being trained for any job opportunities? Why are they not being sent to school? Why are they not being sent to school? How do you think they just kept there? They are kept there in prison. They don't have any freedom to leave the DDR center to go and maybe do their shopping or do whatever around. No, they are in prison. They are in prison. So when you're going there, don't think you're going there to be free. No, you are detained because they don't want you to escape, because at the end, they will do to you whatever they want. And the reason they are not investing in you, because they know that at the end, you'll be eliminated. So why should they spend money on something that will be gotten rid of? So it is the dumbest thing for anyone to go and submit himself to be taken into the DDR center. If you're tired, just get away. Don't go and give yourself to be used and later killed. Because that's exactly what's going to happen to them. Some have even been killed because they are taken again to the war front, because they want them to go and show where their comrades are, and some of them get killed. You got out because you said you don't want to fight, but then you end up again in the field and you get killed. So what's the point? It's the dumbest thing for anyone to do, to go to the DDR center. That is the stupidest thing for anyone to do. Don't mind this stupid boy who calls himself Clovis and the other one. They think they are living a high life. Just wait till the war is over. That's when you know what will happen to them. Wait till the war is over. They will all be eliminated. Now let's go to the next story, which is, of course, the bravery of the women of Ikona. Ikona women have said, you don't mess with us. Don't mess with us. Don't touch our children. If you touch our children, we're coming for you. And I tell you, there you go.
Mommy chop.
Yes, so fellow Ambazonians, what I have to say here is that this is real bravery. This is real bravery. This is what the rest of the women of Ambazonia should learn from the women of Ikona. You know what? First of all, I have to say this. I love the women of Ikona. Okay? Yes, I love these women. I extend my love to all of you. Those are real Ambazonian women, fighters themselves, because this war will not be fought by our ARFs only. Every civilian, every man or woman in Ambazonia is a fighter. You fight, you don't have to use weapons. They simply use their bodies and their voices and the mobilization to secure the release of their sons who were picked up for what? Simply playing football in the field like every youth. And these people say they don't want war, but when children are out there just exercising, they come and round them up because they want to go and lock them up and extort money from them or their parents. And these women went up there. Of course, they were accompanied by their chief. And that's another example of the people working with their traditional authority. Well, that's the way it should be. That's the way it should be. Not all some of these fake chiefs, or was that the son of a chief? Not some of these fake traditional leaders who are now cozying up to La Republique against their own very people they are supposed to protect. So I love exactly what these women were able to do, supported by their chief, to go up there and demand the release of their children. So as I was saying, this is like a mother hen who will go after the hawk and say, you are not taking my chicks. I won't let you get away with my chicks. And you've seen some pictures of some mother hens that who attack the hawk and secure and save their chicks from being eaten by the hawk. That is exactly what happened here. I love these women. I love them. That is exactly what, see, this example should be replicated in other areas of Ambazonia. When these people come in to brutalize and maybe take away innocent children, which is how this thing started, first of all. When they started breaking into houses, shooting boys in the legs, we had no weapons then. There were there were no sticks, there was nothing. We didn't have any weapons. But they brutalized us, and now they turn around and they call us terrorists. When they are the terrorists, they are the ones that showed us how to be violent. We never knew violence. We never knew violence. So these women should be applauded. They should be applauded for their courage, their tenacity, and their willingness to risk it all for their children. They gave birth to these children, and they know how the pains that they suffered bring these children into this world. And it is but right for them to go up there and demand the release of their children. So if you are watching wherever in Ambazonia, now you have seen what you need to do. As they are doing that, the men should form their own vigilantes to watch out for these criminals who come in and steal and kill and maim our people. So when they come in, you deal with them accordingly. So that is a good one there for the Ikona women. I just want to say kudos to them. May this example be replicated all over Ambazonia so that our children can be saved from these anarchists, these murderers from La République du Cameroon who have no regard for human life. I think that story should be it for now. I don't know if Honorable Anne is in. I know she's been waiting for a while. I don't want to keep her waiting for any more longer. I would like to see if Honorable Anne is here, then we can bring her in. Anne, are you there? Are you there, ma'am, Madam Chair? Yes, nice to see you. Looking good as usual.
Thank you, Chairman Mike.
Okay, that's good to see you. And of course, you were recently elected to take the helm of the Ambazonian Restoration Council, which is our executive, our legislative body in Ambazonia, in this interim government, the legislative body. And you are now taking over from Honorable former Chairman Kometa, who has been there for a while, but I think he's setting a pace, setting an example which has eluded us for quite some time now, for a peaceful transfer of power from one leader to the other, which we will get into that. But first of all, Honorable Anne, I would like for you to say something to Ambazonians before we start this interview.
Thank you once more, Comrade Mike. Fellow Ambazonians, all of you watching, I want to sincerely thank you for still standing tall. For those who have not given up, you are great patriots. For those who were about to give up, please, freedom is not free. There is always a price, and we all have to pay that price to get a free homeland for our children. And these children are looking up to us. We should not chicken out. We should stay put, because this revolution cannot last forever. Time to go to Boya is soon, and it is only sooner if all of you get on board. So I want to thank you once more for coming. Stay tuned till the end of the program. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you. Now, Madam Chair, you are known to be honorable, and tell us about yourself. Who is Ndeh, and how did you get here? How did you get here? Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got to where you are today?
Thank you once more. Yeah, I am a wife, a mother, and above all, a freedom fighter. Before this revolution started, my husband used to be so vocal with SCNC in Brussels. So I knew Pa from Galanfo when he used to visit Brussels, and my family will host him. He will go out for diplomatic missions around Brussels, accompanied by my husband. And that is how I got involved with SCNC. When this revolution started, I took it as something normal. But when I saw our girls caged on the backs of lorries after being maimed, tortured, and raped by La Republique military forces, I could not stay out of it. So I decided to fight for what is right, to be sure that no woman will undergo that type of torture while we live in a free homeland again, because this was an abuse of human rights. And this was worse because this is what every society, whether it is civilized or not, should have respect for people who protest. But our own people were denied that right just because they were Anglophones, as we were popularly called. So I decided that every woman, even if you are here watching today, please listen. Don't stay back, because if you stay back, you are guilty of being an accomplice to those people who tortured and raped our children, our sisters, our mothers, our wives before this revolution escalated to this level. We also lawyers. My husband happens to be a member of the Cameroon Bar Association. So imagine his own colleagues were tortured, brutalized by people who did not even have that basic training to work in law firms. So you see the
Yeah.
abuse of power. So I could not stand aside and watch. So I became very vocal in Brussels. I was in the communications department, and recently, before the creation of the Restoration Council, I was one of the most vocal women. And at that time, they needed women at the level of the Restoration Council to represent their counties. So
Okay.
by then, the LGA by LGA and county by county was not yet in place. So I was co-opted to go in and represent my county. I didn't want that, but the mere thought of what those people are going through and will still go through if we keep silent triggered me to accept that call. And that is why I became a member of the Restoration Council. So
Okay. Okay. Yeah, we will delve into a lot more of this as time goes on. But what I have to say is this: as you rightly recounted, each and every one of us had a moment when we decided to join the struggle. Mine was when I saw boys. There was an image where a young man was hung, suspended, with hands suspended, and load was placed on his back. Just imagine that. They had like blocks placed on his back when his hands were suspended in the air. And then I also saw uh, our girls, as you said again, being made to swim in sewage. Sewage. They were asked to roll in sewage. And I asked myself, are we human beings or what? And then you saw again they were using pieces of wood, 2x4s, to beat these boys, lean them on the wall and beat them with 2x4s. You can completely dislocate the young boy's spinal cord and render him paralyzed for life. But that is how we were treated. And at that point, I said, you know what? I cannot be indifferent to this wickedness that is being shown to our people. And that's when I got into this struggle. So, but before we get off topic, um, I would first of all like to pay homage, to pay my respects to Chairman Cometa, whom you are succeeding. I think he's been there for quite a bit, and he has rendered tremendous service to the Ambazonian people. And for that, we thank him immensely. We cannot thank him enough, especially with his patriotic willingness to step aside. Unlike others who cling on to power, he willingly, without compulsion, stepped aside and said, you know what? I have given it my all. It is time for someone else to take over. For that, I say, Chairman Komata, thank you very much, sir. My respects to you. Uh, Honorable Anne, is there anything you want to say to Chairman Komata?
yeah, thank you once more. I want to honestly congratulate Cometa from the bottom of my heart. He has set a legacy for himself and his children. He has proven to be a good example of a democratic leader, somebody who practiced what he preached. You have seen what the RC has gone through trying to stand by the Constitution to make sure that that the Constitution is not violated. Cometa fought tooth and nail, and people even asked what his mandate was. That is true, the Constitution did not give a mandate for him, but he proved to people that you don't need a mandate to step aside when the people say it is time, to step aside when you know that you have given your all, to step aside when you think that there are younger brains that can give more than you still have. And Cometa did just that. And to that,
Okay.
I dove my heart for him.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Again, you are taking over the mentorship of the Restoration Council at a time when some people have mixed feelings about the performance of the Restoration Council this far. What do you intend to do to polish up the image of the Restoration Council as some people may still hold at this time? What are your plans? Is there anything you think you have to do differently?
Thank you for that question. I think if there's anyone who has mixed feelings about the Restoration Council, then that person might have missed out some information pertinent to why the Restoration Council took decisions the way they did. Those people might have been misinformed or might have misunderstood some um, decisions taken at the level of the Restoration Council. Everything the Restoration Council does is guided by the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia. The Restoration Council had as a right to ensure that everything, be it funds raised for this revolution, were actually used for the revolution. But if individuals were manipulated and they accepted, they have come to realize that the Restoration Council was only doing what it did to protect this revolution. And everybody watching now who was with that opinion will agree with me that the Restoration Council has been steadfast. We don't have any reason or individual reasons for telling an individual that what you are doing now is no longer in the favor of Ambazonians. So, as the new head of the Restoration Council, there is one thing I want to say to Ambazonians. I am just the head of the Restoration Council, but I am not going to be the one to decide for the Restoration Council. Before Honorable Commenter stepped down, he was chair, but he never took any decision on behalf of the Restoration Council or for the Restoration Council. Everything that is done at the level of the Restoration Council is subject to consultation, voting, if there is any need for that. And that is how I intend to stay. I also intend to remain level-headed and be a good listener. For those who know me, I've always had good listening ears, and I always consult and I always focus towards the bigger picture of the revolution, which is Boya. I intend to in unity with my team, which is the members of the Restoration Council, facilitate the building of bridges for genuine, effective, and efficient partnerships and collaborations or unity, because that is what we need now to go to Boya. As the newly elected chair of the Restoration Council, my goal is to work closely with the executive, the judiciary, and the treasury to ensure that whatever thing we had in the past should not repeat itself again. Let everybody who is on board have one focus. There should be no personal gains when our brothers and sisters are being slain every day in cold blood. So at the moment, the Restoration Council is very ready to work. The committees of the Restoration Council are now fully set up and fully constituted. That is the last thing Honorable Commenter made sure was done before he stepped aside. So every committee is fully constituted as opposed to the past. These committees are already at work. We are still going to set up ad hoc committees to work on other things like to work with other arms of government to foster this unity and create collaborative platforms for other frontline leaders to join, to see into the amendment of the federal constitution and other legislation that we might
All right.
need.
Yeah, I
in this
think I
journey.
have a follow-up question which will be related to any proposed or what you may have in mind with regards to our constitution, what changes you envisage in the future. So we will get to that. And so what I want to say is, and in all fairness, in all fairness, and I think in all fairness to the Restoration Council, which people don't seem to sometimes give it the credit that is due. Without the Restoration Council, I think we will not even have this government today. Sako would have hijacked it. I think Sako would have run away with it. But it is because the Restoration Council stood its grounds and insisted that things must be done the way they ought to be done. Maybe not as fast as Amazonians wanted, but alas, they rose to the occasion and they make sure that our institutions were protected. So again, let me have. We also have gone through uh, three rocky experiences at replacing our president. First was Siseko, who refused to hand over power and insisted on forming a power government while still in detention even till today. Then came Sako, who said that, oh, the constitution had no provision for elections and that he was not going to stand for elections. Then Maranta, for a 6 month period, too, got up and said, me too, I go try. And said she too was not going to step aside. Some blame it on the Restoration Council for failing to strengthen the structures of our government in order to prevent such violations of our laws. Now that you are the new chair of the Restoration Council, what do you intend to do differently to make sure that this does not happen again? Some even say that the Restoration Council depended on the good conscience of these leaders to follow the law instead of establishing boundaries that would compel them to do so or to do the right thing. So, how do you respond to this criticism, and what do you plan to do to put in place structures that will compel future leaders not to behave as the previous leaders have behaved, just trying to run away, and even trying to dissolve the Restoration Council? Sako tried to do it, but then Tatu came and said, I too want to dissolve the Restoration Council. It was like she was just doing everything that Sako did. So what do you want to, how do you plan to preempt this from happening again?
Yeah, before I go to your question, Comrade Mike, I want to disagree with you on something you just said. That if the
Okay.
Restoration Council did not exist, Sako would have hijacked this revolution. And I don't think if the Restoration Council did not exist, an individual would have hijacked this revolution. This revolution
Well,
is above any individual to hijack. The Restoration
well,
Council is still standing strong today.
mhm,
The membership is growing. When we had the first impeachment, sorry, not the first, the second, we about 6 to 7 members left, and most of them were replaced. Now we have new members being sworn in. And we have more members that are coming up that are being sent to us by the LGAs to be sworn in. So we just have to go through the vetting and swear them in.
mhm,
And the Restoration Council keeps growing because it is only the Restoration Council that is a true representation of the people.
mhm,
Every member of the Restoration Council has a unique background and a unique LGA. The members of the Restoration Council never knew each other before being coming into the Restoration Council. It is but logical that everybody will understand that the Restoration Council cannot come from all the other LGAs and team up against an individual. What will be of what use? The
mhm,
Restoration Council has only stayed within the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia. What does the Constitution say? Does the Constitution give us a right to carry out this act? If it is a yes, it is subjected to voting. And to go to your question, In a revolution, we learn. Before this revolution, none of us had been in a revolution before. So this was actually like a learning process for us. And today we are better in terms of democratic processes and will not fail or hesitate to strengthen them and tighten any loopholes at this moment so that we can have a robust government before we reach Boya and or even democratic system, a fair democratic system for our people before we reach Boya. That is what the Restoration Council intends to uphold. To talk about the leniency of the leaders, the Restoration Council, just like anybody, dealt on trust. We did not understand that an individual or any individual will come, take a leadership position for self-aggrandizement when people are being internally and externally displaced on daily basis. People are slaughtered, children are being killed like baby Mata and baby Apia on daily basis, and an individual or a group of few people would decide to sit on top of funds that were raised to give these people a face a lift or a smile, or to put a smile on their faces.
Yes.
So we cannot go back to the same era, and that is why the Restoration Council has put in place all the committees that will follow up everything. In the days ahead, the Restoration Council will be announcing a lot of changes and actions we intend to carry to make sure that we focus on diplomacy, we focus on building bridges, collaboration, bringing everybody on board, and self-defense, because self-defense is a human right, and it's
Of course.
but
Of
everybody
course.
has that right to self-defense. It is only bad if you go out to go and look for trouble where you are not supposed to go. If you sit in your house and somebody comes to attack you and you defend yourself, you are totally right. That is your right. You have to do that. And we are going to support those who are doing that.
Okay. All right. Honorable Ann, following question. Following up on the questions above, one of Sarko's claim for clinging on to power was that our constitution does not spell out the procedure for the election of our presidents. Do you now intend to amend the constitution to fill in this loophole?
Let me start to be that. Let me clarify this. Ambazonians need to know that the RC, as a legislative body, has no right to single-handedly amend the constitution.
Okay.
But we at the moment we are, like I already said, we are going to set up an ad hoc committee that will work together with other arms of government, the executive and the judiciary, and even independent Ambazonians who do not belong here, to see that the constitution is amended. And let me be honest, except a constitution is carved on a stone, it is subject to amendment.
Of course.
A lot of constitutions in the world have been amended, including that of the greatest democracy in the world, like you say, which is America. I think that's where you live. So that is what we intend to do at the moment. If somebody took advantage of the constitution, that was in bad faith, because even the constitution gives room for the Restoration Council to make decisions that are out of the constitution, as long as those constitutions are in favor of the people of Ambazonia.
Of course, of course, of course.
So
And just to follow up to that, I would like to know what documents you intend to review to inform you as you intend to take a look at the possibility of amending our constitution. What documents do you think you will take a look at for information? Because if you know that a will is already existing somewhere, there's no need fighting to invent one, right? If you know a will is existing somewhere, maybe it's just good to take a look at that will, see how it was made, and maybe learn from it so you can make your own will. So, what, do you intend to go through any documents that I don't want to propose to you, but are you intending to take a look at any documents that will inform you on the kind of changes that we may uh, implement or we may make to our constitution to make it as as um, as solid as possible to preempt any future attempts by any dictator to subvert our democracy again?
thank you once more for that question. Yes, we have a lot of documents that we are already looking at. But let me be very clear to you that this constitution that we are using now was not a final constitution for Ambazonians to use when we get to Boya. It was a
Okay.
guiding document that was going to see us through this revolution until we get to Boya.
Mhm.
We saw that when we get to Boya, we have to bring this document and put it on the table. All the frontline leaders will be there. We are going to we have intellectuals, constitutionalists amongst us, who will then sit and review the document to see if it is fit to be a constitution that will govern an independent Ambazonia. If
Mhm.
yes, then the amendments or adoption will be done. If not, it could totally be kept aside and a new one drawn. So
Okay.
we are not imposing this constitution on everybody that this is what we are going to use in Ambazonia. No,
Mhm.
this is what is guiding us to get to Ambazonia. And that is why you saw on the constitution there was no term or mandate for a president, because we did not even know that we were going to be still be in this revolution till today. Believe me, I thought it was going to end like in 2017 after
Mhm.
starting in 2016. So everybody thought when we get to Boya, we would set these, put policies and the offices and ministries will be clearly defined. But we are still in this revolution today, just like other revolutions last. And as we learn, we will be amending the constitution along. Now we
Mhm.
already know that a mandate for president must be inserted in the constitution. A term of
Yes.
office for every elected official, even myself, will be inserted in the constitution.
Okay. Okay.
And this will be in a consultation with other ROC members, other
Mhm.
arms of government, like the executive and the judiciary.
All right. I think that is positive news. I'm sure many Amazonians will be happy to hear you say those things because those are things that people have been looking forward to, and they're saying, okay, but what is it? Was the period of service for this official or that official? If those things are clearly spelled out, I think that would be a good thing. And in all fairness, again, to the Restoration Council, we understand that we are working in a virtual environment where the implementation of laws and the application of penalties tends to be very difficult when we are working in a virtual environment where we don't have any law enforcement mechanism to hold people to account, which is why we find these rogue elements doing what they are doing. So we do understand that, and I want people to understand that it is not because the Restoration Council wanted these things to happen, as we well know. But just to this question here may cause you to repeat some of the things you have said, but I have to ask it anyway. There is the opinion out there from some Ambazonians that our constitution is incomplete. What other provisions of the Constitution do you intend to take a look at? Um, um, I think you said a lot of the things previously, especially the statement you just made that may have addressed this, but I had to ask a question anyway because I had it ready already.
Yeah, that's a good question. So, like I already said, the term of office of all elected officials
Mhm,
will be taken a look at,
mhm,
because even Honorable Kometa decided to step down on his own. There was no
mhm.
provision for
For that.
the chair of the Restoration Council. I don't want to preach what I cannot practice. Just like one of my favorite icons, Martin Luther King Jr. once said that it is not possible to be in favor of justice for some people and not be in favor of justice for all the people. I would also like that I have a mandate. I don't want to be chair forever. No matter how good
Forever.
I am, I need to be sure that I am being re-elected if
Mhm,
the constitution gives that room for re-elections. I don't want to go and sit tight and ask other people to leave their positions. So that that will be taken care of. The membership or how the organizations of LGAs and counties never existed in the constitution. We need to work on that as well, and to make sure that the people know that the Restoration Council, the members of the Restoration Council per se, receive their power from the people they are representing, and not the other way around. So we at the Restoration Council are representing the people, which means that if an election takes place in the Restoration Council and a member of your LGA votes, it means your LGA has voted because you people had that confidence and that assurance for that person before sending that person to come and represent you at the level of the Restoration Council. So every decision that person takes at the level of the Restoration Council is binding on your LGE because you people empower that person. I don't want a situation where they will say, why are Restoration Council members voting and LGA or county chairs not voting? How can you send somebody to go and represent you at the LG at the Restoration Council and still condemn the person if the person takes a decision on your behalf? So we have to make to clearly distinguish between these powers, so that people should know exactly who has what right and what limit as far as being in any office is concerned, and many more that I
Oh,
cannot
of course,
summarize
of
here.
course. I know you can. It will be difficult to put everything out here. I really appreciate you sticking through with me on these questions because I believe Ambazonians want to know exactly what direction you want to take the Restoration Council. I have just two more questions for you, and we'll be over with this series. So, my next question goes thus. Um, how do you intend to improve the working relationship between the Restoration Council and other arms of government while still holding them accountable? Because I ask this question because there may be a situation where it may be misinterpreted that just because you are having a good working relationship with maybe this or that arm of government, maybe the executive or the judiciary, that you now have to be lenient in holding them accountable. How do you intend to collaborate with them while still holding them accountable?
I like that question. I believe that the Restoration Council works hand in glove with other arms of government, and we act as checks and balances of one another.
Mhm.
There is nothing that if you are working or collaborating with this person, you cannot hold the person accountable. I believe that question must have been answered by the past decisions at the level of the Restoration Council that created the mixed feelings, like you actually said.
Mhm.
If the Restoration Council was working hand with all the previous leaders before they getting them impeached, We only lost their trust and saw that their actions might have been compromised or not for the interest of the majority. And we could not stand and watch that happen when people are suffering. So we at the Restoration Council already host inter-arm meetings on a monthly basis. These meetings are meant for each arm to understand what the other arm is doing. We have to question the executive, find out what they are doing, why they are doing this, and they have the right to question us as well. It means even I am indispensable. I have to be questioned. And that is how we intend to do it, to make sure that this collaboration and stays and misunderstandings is kicked out of this revolution, because there has been a lot of misunderstanding, misrepresentation, manipulation that has taken place in the past because we have been collaborating with our eyes closed. So at this moment, our eyes are supposed to remain open,
Wide open.
and we believe that everybody's eye, be it a genuine Ambazonian just watching, has the eyes open on us, the Restoration Council, on the National Treasury, and on the President. So it is not going to be a ride on the park as usual. The game is changing, and this is the time. And I would just like to conclude this question by quoting what Thomas Jefferson once said: "It takes time to persuade men to do even what is for their own good." So the
Yep,
Restoration
yep.
Council is there, and
Okay.
we are calling on everybody not to relent, stay put, give us your best, have trust and faith in us, because the past errors cannot repeat itself. We are the never again generation, and we are going to be sure that Aboya is clearly ours, and what is meant for the ground goes to the ground. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. My very last question is this: what kind of leader are you? Are you a dictator? Are you a passive leader? Are you a Democrat? What kind of leader? What kind of leadership should we expect from Honorable Anne?
Thank you for that leg pulling question. Yeah, you took me unaware with that question, but I want to say that this is not the first leadership position I've been holding in this revolution.
Okay.
Before being elected the chair of the Restoration Council, I was the chair of the Government Affairs Committee. I am a people-centered leader. You yourself know, you have attended meetings with me. I have chaired meetings, and I have people at the center of every meeting, because I am there to listen to what the people are saying, and that is me. I am going to be a visionary leader. My leadership is, before I go that far, I am going to let Ambazonians know that I am a leader just by name. I am just the figurehead. I think at the level of the Restoration Council, only my signature will be needed after decisions are taken. I cannot take any decision on my own. Why? Because I am going to share the leadership. Every member of the Restoration Council is a leader. The power has just been given to me to put the final signature. That is what I believe. Because at the level of the Restoration Council, I have only one vote. So
Okay.
everything will still be shared. I intend to be a transformative leader as well, to work in transforming wrong to right, to make sure there are results from every action that we undertake. So I should be result oriented and accountable as somebody who is on the seat or at the helm, because I know that whatever goes wrong at the level of the Restoration Council will
Of
be
course,
blamed
of
on
course.
me. So I know it is a hot seat, and I want to promise Ambazonians that this revolution as a whole has been a hot-seated revolution. Everybody who has been involved, whether you have been silent or not, you've been accused or blamed in one way or the other. And it takes somebody who can stand the heat in the kitchen to still hold on. It takes somebody who was really bent on getting to Boya to still be sitting today as a member of this revolution. Most people who came in for with weak minds or not really knowing what they wanted dropped out.
Out already.
But let me
Yep.
tell you, if you dropped out, you are doing injustice to those people who have been looking up to you. You have the voice, and there are people out there whose voices have been seized from them. It is free, it is a free voice. What stops you from advocating for these people? We all should be advocates for the
Yes.
right thing, for peace, for freedom, which is a fundamental human right.
Right.
So, Ambazonians, if it has been said time and again that our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter. So,
Yep.
if you are still sitting there, if you are not on board, and you think that you are actually living, then it is a lie. So we should stop existing as Ambazonians and start living like Ambazonians. That is what
Okay.
a wise man once told me. Thank you.
Exactly. Exactly. Well said. Well said, Honorable Anne. And I want to say here that I would like to congratulate you, Madam Chair, for your election to the helm of the Restoration Council, and I wish you luck in your new assignment. I know it is not an easy task, but I know you are up to the task. You will do your best to make Ambazonia proud. I would like for you to sit tight and hold on. I have to bring up this discussion about our traditional leaders that have fast been transformed into politicians. And I want you to just sit tight there. And after this short monologue, I would like for you to have this exchange with me, analyze this topic, and see the ramification. Let us share ideas on the ramifications of this phenomenon that has been introduced in our society by a lot of people to Cameroon, and it is completely eroding our cultural values and the respect that we have for our traditional leaders. So just sit tight there. After this monologue, we are going to discuss that. So, traditional leadership and politics. Our traditional leaders are the custodians of our traditions and customs. Owing to the respect that we have reserved for our traditional leaders, La République du Cameroon has chosen to exploit it for political gain. This has led to the erosion of the respect and honor that has been reserved for our traditional leaders. Some have had to abandon their chiefdoms and palaces as they escape from the same people they are supposed to lead. Our traditional leaders have been turned into political pawns. Traditional leadership and politics do not mix properly. We all know that. They are like oil and water. When you pour oil and water together, the oil will always rise to the top. So our leaders have been turned into political pawns, and this phenomenon of mixing politics and tradition is eroding our cultural values. When you mix water and oil, one will rise above the other. And most often, politics rises above tradition and culture. La République du Cameroon has weaponized our traditional cultural associations. Most of them have become an extension of the CPDM, where the leadership of these traditional or cultural associations are now being pushed to be CPDM sympathizers. And the agenda of these cultural associations is pro CPDM. They openly advocate for the criminal regime at the detriment of those they are supposed to serve. A traditional leader who chooses to accept a political position in any political party loses the respect and honor that comes with being a traditional leader. The two functions are incompatible. You either have one or the other. The two functions cannot be combined. A traditional leader is supposed to be the father to all of his subjects. When a traditional leader gets into politics, it takes away from him the ability to be fair to all of his subjects. He will favor those from his party and despise those from the opposing party, thus depriving him of the ability to serve his subjects equally. A traditional leader who chooses to accept a political appointment cannot expect to be given the same adoration and respect that is reserved for traditional leaders, because it is common knowledge that most politicians don't tell the truth. They are dishonest. Some are crooks and liars. Traditional leadership and politics do not go together. When a traditional leader decides to be a politician, you lose the respect of your people as a traditional leader, and rightly so. So, Honorable Anne, I don't know what your take is on this phenomenon, because we have seen it used by a lot of people to Cameroon because they came into our society. First of all, they come from a society where traditional leadership is a strange idea. They don't have any respect for their chiefs. In their own area, you can walk into a bar and sit there, and a chief is sitting there. You are drinking a beer. He too is drinking a beer. The chief talks trash. You can slap him in the head. That is how they view their traditional leaders. They have no respect for them. So when they came to us, they saw the adoration we have for our leaders, of our traditional leaders, our chiefs, our funds. And they saw this as now something they could exploit. That's given the fact that we respect them so much that if something should come from these traditional leaders, then the people will most certainly respect. And they came in now and they started corrupting these leaders, these traditional leaders. And today, you find traditional leaders who are at the same time politicians. An impossibility. Because you cannot be a good traditional leader and be a politician at the same time. Because being a politician means you are choosing one side against the other. But as a traditional leader, every subject of your society is yours and is supposed to be cared for and protected by you. So these two functions are incompatible. So, Honorable Anne, uh, on a summary, just give me your appraisal of this phenomenon that has been introduced by La République, and it is currently eroding our cultural and traditional values in the southern Cameroon, Ambazonia. Honorable Anne, are you there?
Yes, I
I
am
hope
there.
she
Can
did.
you hear me?
Okay, I can hear you now.
Okay, thank you. I want to say that, to be honest, we are already aware of the plans La République du Cameroon had for the Southern Cameroons, and that was assimilation. We have been opportune to be out of the country. we are talking here on, I am sitting here free in my house and talking because I am not on the ground. I want to advise that we should not be so harsh on these traditional leaders because they don't take these decisions on their own.
Okay.
These traditional leaders might be undergoing what we don't see. They have been threatened, intimidated, coerced into doing all these things. Some of them are going there not because they want to go. There are traditional leaders who still fit or who still work with our restoration forces on the background because they do not have, we don't have that, an army that can defend these traditional leaders.
Yes.
Until we get to Boya and put these traditional leaders on the ground, we cannot know for certain what they are going through. And as somebody who doesn't look just at the surface meaning of things, I will want us to bear in mind that these traditional leaders are not completely sell out. Some of them might have been corrupted. Some of them might be might have been coerced into becoming dictators over their subjects. But why? Because La Republique has envied our culture and tradition, the way we magnified and respected and upheld our traditional rulers, and decided to put an end to this, just like they wanted to completely erase anything about Anglo-Saxon culture in our land. So how did you expect them to leave our traditional leaders to be there and wait for our restoration forces to come around and take palm oil to go and cook plantains? No. Then we are not really ready for this war. The traditional leaders might be dying in silence, asking themselves, who can let these boys know that if I had guns, I will give them. If I had food, I will give it to them. But my hands are tied. You can see
Yes.
them talking, sitting in meetings, but their hands are tied. It's just that we don't have the eyes to see. So I want, if you ask me on it, honestly, let's be soft on these people because they are not strong to run away. You don't expect these traditional leaders to take a bike and run to a cock and cross and enter Nigeria like our leaders did before they were extradited after being kidnapped. So this is not a case of a youth who can run in the bush. These are people who are already of age.
Of a certain
They
age,
can no
yeah.
longer do a lot. They can just say yes, sir. But knowing that if today Boya is ours, these traditional rulers will stand and tell and narrate their stories and what they had in mind, and all of us will shed tears. So let's just grant them some mitigating circumstances here, please.
Okay, I do understand your plea on behalf of the traditional rulers. But I would say some are more willing to collaborate with the Republic of Cameroon than others, I would say, because there are some who have insisted on maintaining their anonymity when it comes to either advocating for Ambazonia or for La Republic of Cameroon. And they have stayed with their people and they are surviving. But some have chosen the cozy comfort of La Republic of Cameroon. And they have even moved out because they took very bold actions against their own very people. But there are some of the traditional rulers who are in their palaces. They are neither advocating for La Republic nor in support of our ARFs. And they are in their palaces and serving their people. But some have openly sided with the enemy, some even taking them to their palaces for protection. When you do that, you cannot say your hands are tied. I don't think that help was imposed on you. You chose to accept it. If others did not accept it, why did you accept it? So, as much as I would like to agree with you that we should give them a break, but when you are insultingly poking your finger in our eyes, we will take note of that. It is better for you to be neutral and we will respect it. Don't support us, but don't support the enemy either, and we will accept it. But when you are actively out there poking your finger at us, and some of these leaders of the cultural associations, because La Republique went out and actively were pushing people who are pro La Republique ideology to take over these associations. And we see what they are doing now. They are out there calling out for peace campaigns, for peace to return, for some actively campaigning that our boys should lay down their sticks. When you do that, you are not being neutral. You are taking a side. And that is what we frown at. We are not saying you must support us, but we also do not like it when you are against us. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I want to. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you 5 on 5.
Yeah, I want to say that before the outbreak of this revolution, these traditional leaders had their subject who paid dues to them on always. This revolution came and stopped that because we had a lot going on. Nobody can stand to start doing that again. These traditional
And,
leaders
and, a, and
had
a
their
lot of and
bills.
a lot of people got away too.
Exactly. These traditional leaders have wives, children, bills, and lives to live. How do you expect them to live these lives without the money? La Republic is very smart. They will go with money to these hungry leaders because of their desperation. You understand? Corrupt them, give them money, and believe me, a traditional leader who has been living on a with a minimum wage of 100, 200,000 a month, and suddenly sees a million to live, knowing fully well that this revolution might become like that of Eritrea and last 30 years, when and by the end of it they will be dead and gone. What do they have to lose now? They have to take the money, send their children to schools, send their children, some of them out of the country, because schools are still going on in La Republic. Children are still traveling, and that is what they intend to do. And why? Because they are being corrupted. There is time for these leaders to see what the regime has done on them. These leaders might be doing this now. I will still repeat that some of them are doing this under threat and intimidations. If they
Absolutely,
don't,
absolutely. I do
if they
agree.
try to remain neutral, they will be executed. Some of them are, like you said, are still anonymous. On they don't want to either associate with us or with La Republic. You can understand that these are leaders that are dwelling on dangerous grounds, on an area that has been controlled by our restoration forces. Let me take Lebi Alem for example. When Field Marshal may his soul rest in peace was there, did you expect a leader who is there to stand openly and support him, knowing that he will go to the forest and La Republic talks will come around and kill him? Did you expect that
Absolutely.
leader to openly support La Republic, knowing fully well that when La Republic talks are gone, Field Marshal will come out with the people and make him pay for that? The leader has to become neutral, because any side he goes, he will pay a price for that. So
Yeah.
if you ask me, I take time to really analyze this issue of leaders, and especially these our traditional rulers who have mandate given to them by us. So what I want to say is that it is still based on corruption. It is still based on threats and intimidations that they are doing this. Some of them, just let me tell you something. You have fighters who have gone to DDR. Have
Mm-hmm.
they? Some of them have run away. Some of them have escaped and come out and spoken the truth. How
Mm-hmm.
they were coerced. You just showed a video of a grandpa who is claiming that he voluntarily dropped his arms and joined
Mm-hmm.
the
DDR
DDR.
Center.
But just seeing the way he was being commanded, does that look real? Don't you think it's their mission to make you appear as if you are the one taking these decisions, just
Surrendering yourself.
because
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is the only way that they have given you a life to you. That if for us not to kill you, you must do this or we kill you. And you must promise
Mm-hmm.
us that we will take you to rallies and you call others to join. But
Mm-hmm.
any restoration force who copies that and drops the weapon is killed like the next day
Mm-hmm.
because you are their target. If you are asked today to come out of the hide you are hiding and join them, what becomes of you? You become history, and they keep staying there. You remember there was a video of one restoration fighter who claimed to have died 1,000 times. Each time we saw
Yeah.
him
Yeah.
being dead and then buried, and the next day you one even
He was alive again.
in that coalition for dialogue meeting, he was the one
Yes.
giving
Yes.
press conference. So you know these are gimmicks, and we cannot fall for this. And believe me, we cannot put these old people in order in difficult situations again. Let's allow them. They have left their offices, their
Mm-hmm.
palaces, and have resided with the enemy, who is La
Mm-hmm.
Republique. Allow them. When we get to Boya, we will conveniently elect, or the people will look for a representative, and then they will stay with La Republique. And
Mm-hmm.
our chiefdoms and fondoms will continue.
Of
If they
course.
come
Of
back,
course.
or for those who stayed put because of one reason or the other, we will put them. There will be everybody will be brought to book. Everybody will have the
Mm-hmm.
opportunity to explain why he or she acted the way they acted.
They did.
Even some of
Okay.
us here in the diaspora have to take those stand.
Of
The
course. Of
stand,
course. Everybody will give account
explain
of how
why
they.
you did
Yeah.
what you did. Those
Mm-hmm.
people are
Yep.
not exception.
Yep.
We also have people here in
Yep.
the
Yep.
diaspora who do not want to hear about the restoration fight
Mm-hmm.
for our
Mm-hmm.
freedom.
Yes.
They are
Yes.
just they are in the same pot of soup. So we should
Mm-hmm.
know that there has been no revolution that brings everybody on board. Ukraine is fighting
Exactly.
Russia. Believe me, not all Russians are fighting and not all Ukrainians are
Mm-hmm.
fighting.
Mm-hmm.
Us cannot be an exception, except we want to create an imaginary country. So let's be soft on the people. Let's encourage them to be, yeah, to yield, because that is the only way their lives will be saved. I am against every life, any life being taken by our own, any of
Yep.
our people being assassinated or killed by our own for any crime.
Yes.
There is
Yes.
no justification of why a person's life should be taken.
Mm-hmm.
And that is exactly what I'm saying. But when the time will come, everybody will account. We will have
Account
courts
for
and
what they
set
did.
up. We will have prisons, and these people will serve the punishment that will be levied on them. But for now, let's encourage people to come on board. Let's not intimidate or frighten people to instead
Mm-hmm.
run away and hide their faces because they're afraid that we'll target them tomorrow when we get to Boya. Because there is
Okay.
no miracle that we will not get to Boya. It is our right. It
Mm-hmm.
is our legacy. We were once a country of our own. So our case is different from that of Biafra and other country or
Yes.
regions fighting
Yes.
to secede from
Yes.
their countries. We were a country that came under a federal union with another country to live as two equal states.
Yes.
But we were denied that the agreement was not respected by the other party.
Mm-hmm.
So our case is different, and every international community that is quiet or silent knows that we have a right to what we are doing. And
All
believe
right.
me, during one of our rallies in Brussels, when we went to request for authorization to protest,
Mhm.
one of the commissioners told us that everything we do, they have knowledge of everything that is going on in Ambazonia. Why
Mhm.
we are doing this? We are 200% right, but the only question is why did we stay for 56 years before standing up?
Before starting now.
And why only stand up now? And that is just the missing piece of the puzzle that they are yet to find. And very soon, the international community will have that missing piece of puzzle, I bet you.
Of course. If they were to look very closely, they will be able to find it. But well, like you said, I think it's becoming so apparent. Even I think at the beginning of the show, I mentioned the statement that was made again by Diodone Somba, analyzing to his brothers of La Republique of Cameroon that if they are still thinking that we can ever live together as a unitary state, that is not going to happen. It's not going to happen. The time has long passed. Those who are still dreaming of a unitary state with La Republique of Cameroon are dreaming because it's not going to happen. No way, no how. And yes, I think I heard your plea there, and I just hope that our people too are listening and understanding and checking their actions, making sure that whatever they are doing should not be to the detriment of the outcome that we seek, because we are fighting for a better future for all of us, including the chiefs and the funds and their children and their subjects. Because look at the future with La Republique of Cameroon. What hope is there for our people? What hope is there? Look at those who are positioned to take over from Paul Biya. Murderers and criminals and thieves and scoundrels and occultists, those are the people who are positioned to take over from Paul Biya. Now, where is the future for us? Where is the future for us? We have no future in that. So our only option is to get out of that cesspool and restore our independence so we can bring some hope and life and dignity and prosperity to our people. That is the only hope we have. Anything else will end up in misery and death. Misery and death. So, Honorable Anne, I want to again thank you so heartily for coming on today to share your vision for the Restoration Council and also to share in this discussion that we have had. But before you go, there is something we like to do here to encourage our ARFs, to let them know that we do appreciate what they are doing for Ambazonia, and that whatever we're giving them it is not what is in it that matters. It is the intention behind it that matters. And we give them a recognition for their bravery and their great work. So every month we put something together which is called the Most Productive Group Award, group award, where we give them a trophy, which is right here. I'm sure you've seen it before. This is a trophy, and we are going to award this trophy now. It is actually engraved here. Beautiful trophy, I must say. A gold trophy. Someone is going to win this trophy today. So I want you to stay put with me and let us see who this winner will be today. We assess, first of all, before let me put it where it can be visible. Before we award this trophy, we have to say that this trophy takes into consideration not just the military prowess of the group on the ground, but also their conduct, how they treat our civilians. Are they taking care of our civilians? Are they molesting our civilians? Are they extorting from our civilians? Are they taking ransoms? Are they doing kidnappings? So we put all of that together, and then we determine the winner for each month. Several groups have won already. I think the first group was Ndeh, I think, and then the Valley Buffaloes won. The Black Shoes of Oku won. Boyo has won. Boyo has won. I forget which other one again. No Pities Unity Warriors won, of course. No Pities Unity Warriors won. And today it's going to someone else. We don't know who that person is until we open the envelope. So, Honorable Anne, unfortunately, you are very far away from me. I would have given you the pride of place to open it, but I have to open it. So let us open it and see who is the winner of the Most Productive Group Award today. Who shall it be? Someone is going to win it. Who shall it be? All right. Here you go, Honorable Anne. Can you read it? Manu.
Yes,
Manu
Manu.
has won.
Wow.
Congratulations, Manu,
Congratulations
for
to
a
Manu.
great
Let me
job.
clap for Manu.
Congratulations, Manu, for a job well done. I think we saw their prowess when they demonstrated their prowess, military prowess against the enemies of La Republique of Cameroon by taking down one of their camps and getting away with quite a good cache of material. That's what we want. We don't hear them out there committing acts of kidnapping or ransom taking. So we are encouraging you, Manu, to continue in that spirit. We are behind you. We pray for you. May the spirits of our ancestors shield you and protect you from the arms of the enemy. And with that, we say congratulations again. And to those who have not yet won, you still have a chance. It is still going on. Even as we speak, we are still putting our resources together for the winner for this month of February. I was supposed to have put up the payment options that those who want to support this initiative can chip into. But it was late sending the payment options to our technician. He would have put them up so that those who want to support this initiative can do so. But I'm promising you that the next time I come on, I will have those payment options ready so that you can support this initiative so that we continue to encourage our ARFs on the ground to continue doing what they can do to defend our homeland. So, Honorable Anne, again, it was a pleasure having you. I don't know if you want to, any final words that you want to say to Ambazonians, please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you for this opportunity to say something to my fellow and beloved Ambazonians before I go. My country people, make a talk for pidgin abeg. As una dey watch we so, we no dey sleep for night because we know say una dey there. I dey call on una for know say we dey for here because we know say una dey for there, and we no dey fight for ourselves. We dey fight for make sure say wetin we don go through, wey we don go school for that country, we no fit get work. You need for bribe before you go for work, for you get work. You bribe sometimes sef, you know they go take your money chop wey you know they no give you work. Yapa go pick up oil, light bill, house. The can go the house so bribe enter earnest where you go school pass take first. We need for make sure say anybody go get a chance, get free education, free everything for our pikin dem, and we fit only do so if we fight. I dey beg on the restoration fighters make dem no give up, make dem know say we for dey go for boya. Diplomacy fit count, any other action fit count, but self-defense na number one. Na that self-defense when una make that land ungovernable for them. When they no fit pass, go carry timber, go carry oil, go carry banana them as they dey do before, go sell them, chop money, then can use they buy gun, then they can shoot our parents. Abeg una remain fast. Make una no be fool where they claim say they don't drop gun, na lie. They don't only capture some of them, talk me the fool una muna come off for bushes. Then they spare them for some time, and after that they go inject them, they go die small. Make una no green that one. We get a new president when Comrade Chris. He don't dey for the revolution from day one. He never change his talk. Make una rally support behind ye. Una rally support behind the government. Fundraiser dem dey. Amber dues day wey na for support. May we send small chop for refugee them. May we send small medication for people where they get wounds. I beg una for diaspora, may una try subscribe. Fundraiser dem dey, make una try abeg send hand for pocket. I know say we don tire because we don start give from time immemorial. Some people they don't take them, they no even send them for the side where you go, where it discourage some people. But I want tell una say this time around, no be business again. Now boya. So anything now where una the moment una know say I then dey on top more than 100 way before it be the enter pocket no man no see am. Make una no fear for send hand now. Make una no tire abeg una. If una tire, we brothers and sisters wey dem dey for bushes don't finish. If their blood go climb for una head, make una give am. If e go down, una don't see am. This president don't take over now. Only how many months now? Una see where did you go? Una don't hear say some man don't chop money for the revolution. Una don't hear say he get salary. Una don't hear say they don't give you money for do anything. No. Una never see say you say the struggle for go you say go find your own money, go for that ground, go get am. Now TV this what you use am for years, so we need to pay. No be government they pay. It is struggle for still pay the TV for get news for una. I beg una send hand for pocket. Una know say even me what they talk for years, so my idea on that money or I never ever touch money for the revolution. I don't fire and fight for social media because I know say some man don't chop money. Restoration Council no dey touch money. Restoration Council if fight never make sure me no man no touch money. And now we don't wear eyeglasses all we. Even na €1, it go for ground. So me una give am now with confidence. If before you be think say you go give only €50 every month, I beg make this talk make you double am to 100. Make you give am no say if anything go wrong, you quote the day. No go wrong because now everything don't change. A lot of different turn don't take place where we no go live that kind thing. And luckily we get president where he don't always be steadfast. He don't fight that corruption. He says from. So una no believe say go fight corruption, can't stand be corrupt. I beg una make una believe in ye. Now only una believe, una see the way they fight for unity. Make una if you dey for different group where you come watch here today like observer. Make you tell your frontline leader for reach out. If he deny, una drop it, you let new one bring and quick because the unity. Now only ye now so. He go take we go boya. Una see say time where he say they go Canada. He no go as he one way some people then run go stand for they say the one sign document. He go under one umbrella with everybody. Wait it happen. La Republic right the next day say they no go Canada again. You see, say unity, na the weapon way they fear.
Exactly.
Make una join platform, more una unite, whether you be which group for here. Call your leader, ask you whether they already did for under unity. If you say they never reach out to ye, una all get President Chris in number, all man get them for the outside, even La Republic. If una no get them, una come for ABS platform, una go get them. Una call ye, ask you say you don't reach out for the leader. If you say no, una send number may reach out. If you say yes, una go hold una leader accountable. That means say no one take una go boya. Una here because the train where they take man go boya. And they tell una true. All man one go boya. Even me so what they talk for here. And no. So I beg una papa them. Make a drop now. And I know say I dey here because una dey. Thank una. Thank you, Comrade Mike. Thank you.
Thank you. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Again, glad to have you on the show today. I very much appreciate it. And to follow up, on what you said about unity, of course, there is the letter that was sent out recently. There's a movement of Ambazonians that really want to come together. And we've been talking with other stakeholders in the struggle, and there is this plan to have this a unity conference somewhere in Washington, D.C. Some people are proposing April, some people are proposing May. But whichever period that is picked will be good. But the thing is, what is important is that we need to come together. So fellow Ambazonians, start preparing yourselves, because when they say it's a gathering of Ambazonians, I mean every Ambazonian. It's not just for leaders alone. No. Anywhere that you find yourself on the face of the earth, when the conference is holding, you can book your flight and be present and be counted, because we need every voice heard, every opinion considered during this unity conference, so that we are speaking with one voice. We have been so fragmented for no reason, because some people say, even as we speak, there are some people who just say, well, we're not coming together with anybody. that is only, if we have to come do anything, it has to be only us. But of course, we know that those people are doing so for personal reasons. For personal reasons, they are not doing so because of Ambazonia, because every diplomatic office that we've gone to, they keep calling on us to come together. And then we are saying now that, why don't we just do what we are being told that this is what you need to do in order to be listened to? So if you are out there and you're calling yourself an Ambazonian, this is the time for us to do what the diplomatic community has been asking for, to come together and make sure that our voices are listened to at the international stage. Let them see us converging as Ambazonians, speaking with one voice, one purpose. Please, Washington, D.C., sometime in April or May. The date is not yet firm, but we will know. Again, I also want to remind you of the APP meeting coming up on Thursday. This Thursday, the 23rd, I think is 8 p.m. Amber time. Be present at the APP meeting. It's been a while we haven't had one, but it will be very informational as well. So make sure you are present during the APP meeting. Look for the link out there and make sure that you are present during the APP meeting. So fellow Ambazonians, again, I want to really thank you all for coming on board today or for tuning in to the War Zone. I hope you benefited from the information that was shared here today. Let's continue to push. Let's not relent. Let's not back down. Ambazonia is our country. We cannot allow people to come into our territory and take from us and dictate to us and treat us as slaves in our own land. For close to 60 years now, we have risen and we're saying no more. So, fellow Ambazonians, thank you, and I want to congratulate Manu again for winning the Most Productive Group Award. With that, ladies and gentlemen, I say take care of yourselves and each other. Good night.
Kolo Yesu yaka, emona ngambe na ndeni yawe. Kolo Yesu yaka, Satana, Satana, Ndeh, Satana, out, Satana, go. Kolo Yesu yaka, Kolo Yesu yaka. Mamenge be mangile maya ya, mwana ngambe yaka. Yesu aponanga, aponanga banda bomwana, banda bomwana. Betrayal yo Kangouya, les petits marteaux qui cassent grand caillou, on y va. Ici on bouge non-stop, dans fort. Oh, nani kakate bat batonga ngame, yo tonga batu pona nini, batela kimia. On y va! Yes, ça na bongo. yawe sababika mokutinga nakabisikoyo yeseko ai tufanyawa yes awi tala koyo kama mosonite bina na yo mikipe mitela yeseko Jenny Ndeh augmente la sauce Voilà, on bouge. Yes,